Oh my god. This is not a drill. The Giants just won a football game. What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another... Let me lift this up a little bit. Welcome back into another video, and I'm so happy to come on here and talk about this win. But before we start, huge thank you to our sponsor BetUS for sponsoring the channel this season. Make sure you guys check out BetUS for a 150% sign up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit. The second and third are 125%. So how about that bonus to your bonus? Check them out for all your betting needs. All right, so as you guys know, the Giants started their little bump in the road in their schedule where there was a lot of games consecutively that the Giants were probably not going to win. This was the first of them, and that being against the Seattle Seahawks, well, the Cowboys at first. But the Seattle Seahawks were another team that nobody expected the Giants to win, especially in years past, how the Giants have not been good against the Seahawks in the past couple of years. And also, this team is 3-1. You flip that record around 1-3. That's what the Giants are right now. And with the way this team played, and looking back on how they played the Cowboys, how they played the Commanders, you would honestly think that this team probably should be 4-1. I don't like to play that game at all, but the only loss where I say that the Giants absolutely were not the better team in was the Minnesota Vikings game. This was, again, the best performance the Giants have put up on all three phases of the ball in a long time. Let's start off, obviously, with the offense. Daniel Jones continues to be an asset, a good asset to this team, distributing the ball accurately. Now, I would like if there was a little bit more variety. Then again, I'm not going to be too picky with it. Back when I used to watch Eli, I used to love how they would always bring those stats up on how many receivers he's targeted in just the game that they're playing in at that moment. But listen, I'll take it. I'll take like 5 receivers targeted all game. We're finally utilizing tight ends. I don't know what's going on with Daniel Bellinger. I don't think he's bad, but you know what? Theo Johnson, the rookie, has been putting in work. I love his ability to catch the ball and just run upfield, and he has the speed to do it. I love that about him. Like I said, Daniel Jones had a really good game. I believe he ended up being like 17 of 34 or something like that, or maybe 20, something somewhere in the 20s. I could be somewhat wrong about that, but either way, to go into the second half, I believe he was like 14 of 20 or something like that, somewhere around that range for 145 yards and a touchdown. He wound up finishing the day with like 254 with 2 touchdowns, only sacked 3 times. And that's where I'll kind of transition to the offensive line. Our offensive line is legitimately good. I get it. He was sacked 3 times. That's like a pedestrian, sort of an average game for an offensive line, but it's damn good for a Giants offensive line. And honestly, if you watch the game, Daniel Jones kind of runs into sacks himself. He tries to step up in the pocket. He kind of pays for it a little bit. I think this offensive line is legitimately good. Top 10 would kind of be pushing it, right? But I would really say it's in that range of like 14 to like 18. I think it's that good. And that's all we need. That's all we need to get this offense moving. The running game was fantastic. Daniel Jones even had some really good runs in that first half, keeping the ball himself and getting tough. I loved his running ability. He had like 30 yards of his own, a little bit over 30. Tyrone Tracy, in his first game starting as a NFL running back, had 107 yards on like 12 or 13 carries. That's insane. He had 7.2 yards per carry. That's something I want to see. I'm going to put the card up right up here. You guys can check out my short documentary I made on Tyrone Tracy. And I told you guys from when I talked about him in the summer, he was going to shine very quickly and eventually be the New York Giants starter. As much as I do like Devin Singletary, he does have fumbling issues, and he doesn't have that second sort of level to him, that second gear to him to get him upfield and with that breakaway speed. We had a lot of runs that we saw today with Tyrone Tracy that if Devin Singletary was running the ball, he probably would have been caught a lot sooner than Tyrone Tracy. Tracy has that breakaway speed. He also was very slippery in between the gaps. The running game was great. How about not having our top 2 scorers in this game, not being a quarterback, in Devin Singletary and, of course, Malik Neighbors, and still putting up 23 offensive points? It should have been 30 with that touchdown that Eric Gray fumbled. Get Eric Gray off my team, man. He did have a couple of great catches in the screen game early on in that game, so I won't fault him too much. We still won the game. You get a pass for now. But Malik Neighbors not being in this game was something I was really worried about. He was the entire driver of our offense, but a lot of these other guys showed that they can step up when they are needed. Darius Slayton, he was having pedestrian numbers, if not kind of lacking numbers when Malik Neighbors is in the lineup, because we like over target Malik Neighbors. But Darius Slayton looked like good old Darius Slayton again, including a couple of drops and catching with your body, but that's okay. He still had 2 great deep passes that led in the same drive that led to a touchdown. That touchdown was absolutely beautiful. He also had a couple of good route runs. That slant, there's this one particular slant that he had where he had an outside release and he jabbed back in right under the corner. I mean, it was amazing to see. But he had like 122 yards on 8 receptions and a touchdown. Jalen Hyatt did not get targeted again. That's very concerning how Jalen Hyatt is not getting any looks, any receptions, any targets, and Malik Neighbors is not in the lineup. Hell, Isaiah Hodgins was even in the game and didn't even get a look. It's clear that there are alphas on this team. It's clear that there are players that are, schemed for, targeted, and that's how they're going to work their offense. It's going to be pretty predetermined. And let me tell you right now, that penalty to Darius Slayton, I cannot stand seeing stupid penalties like that, and those unsportsmanlike penalties are like 15 yards. Man, can you at least lessen it? Like 5 yards, 10? You're going to put 15 yards? That is the most you can get on a penalty. And you're going to put that because he pointed for a first down? I said this on Twitter and I said this on my live stream. If you think that that's a penalty, then we should start penalizing the refs for signaling first down. We should start penalizing them. They did the same thing to Josh Downs of the Indianapolis Colts earlier in the day. Moving on to the defense, I still hate Shane Bowen's defense, but these players are winning despite of that. Shane Bowen's defense is god-awful. It's terrible, okay? This conservative Vic Fangio style defense is outdated. It's stupid. I hate it. Then again, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, these guys showed up. Even Nacho and Elijah Chapman when their numbers were called. Even DJ Davidson, who had 2 sacks today. And how about Dexter Lawrence? 3 sacks. He has 6 sacks in 5 games. Tell me he's not the best defensive tackle of all time. I'm leaning. I always said that he was the best pass rushing defensive tackle of all time. I mean, best pass rushing nose tackle of all time. Go ahead and try to tell me that he's not already on pace for being the best nose tackle of all time. Again, I mixed it up, but there is a difference between defensive tackle and nose tackle. Nose tackle are a lot heavier. Don't give me Warren Sapp, who was 285 pounds. Don't give me Warren Sapp. Okay, don't give me Aaron Donald. He's 300 pounds and he's not a nose tackle. I'm talking 300 pounds. 342 pounds of pure muscle just coming at you, looking like Vince Wilfork and pass rushing like Aaron Donald. You're not going to find it in any other nose tackle. The secondary played okay. Tay Banks had some flashes. Drew Phillips looked good as well. Adoree Jackson had a couple of good coverage downfield. But again, there were plenty of instances where guys are just running free downfield. And that's just part of this terrible Shane Bowen defense. I hate it. I hate playing soft zone. I hate allowing, the short underneath and allowing running after the catch. I just don't like it. And at the end of the game, I was getting so heated because it was starting to look like everything how the Giants lose. It was starting to look like every other Giants loss ever, right? We started off the game where Daniel Jones trips and falls and sacks himself. And then we go all the way down the field just to fumble at the 1 yard line for a touchdown. So we're already down 7-0 like we were against Cleveland. And then at the end of the game, the Giants tried to run out the clock, and I knew it was going to happen. They tried running out the clock, and it wasn't working. They had the 2-minute warning on the Seahawks side, you know, that played in their favor. And then they tried throwing it on 3rd down. I said this on stream. I wanted them to throw it on 3rd down. So anybody killing Brian Dable for doing it, listen, I wanted it to be thrown. I didn't want another run and then they just have a minute 52 to work with one timeout. You know, I'd rather take the risk there and try to get the first down through the air and try to keep the ball moving. Unfortunately, we had to kick the ball away. They had 2 timeouts, 1:55 left to go in the game, and they were driving down. Geno Smith had a monstrous run on us, and it killed us. Again, Shane Bowen's defense, that's what you're going to see. Goes all the way down the field to about the 34-yard line. Geno Smith, they try everything they can to get into the end zone, and the Giants were able to hold strong and force a field goal. And this was to tie the game. And I was already saying, all right, we're going to overtime. Like the least is going to happen right now is we're going to overtime, and we'll see what happens there. Isaiah Simmons, when I tell you, as soon as I saw Isaiah Simmons jump over the center, I said, oh my God, we're going to block this kick. It was blocked. Bryce Ford Wheaton timed that bounce perfectly, grabbed it. He was a perfect guy for the job, has that groundbreaking speed, flew all the way into the end zone. The Giants almost scored 30 points. I understand why they took a knee there to try to secure the win, make sure nothing else crazy happens, and they win the game. But man, I am looking forward to these next couple of weeks because the Giants showed that they can beat a 3-1 team. So now they're going to go ahead and go after a Bengals team who is 1-4 right now. And they had a bad loss to Baltimore. They may be hanging their heads low. They put in all that work just to lose the game. This is going to be I believe, Sunday night game. So, going to be a late video to next week. But should be a good one. Looking forward to it. So happy. I'm so happy the Giants have 2 wins on the board. And it came from 2 games I didn't think I didn't think they were going to win. So, that's good to see. I really wish we could have had that Washington game and the Dallas game back. We would have been in a lot better position right now. But that's, neither here nor there. That being said, like the video if you guys like the video. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And we will see you guys very, very soon. Woo!